Hello everyone and welcome back to Everyday Husband Quotes, the channel for marriage advice, marriage entertainment, and everything else marriage. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to talk about the new season of Marriage Bootcamp, the HipHop Edition. And honey, before I start, okay, you know I'm late. Life has happened, bumps have been in the road, but I'm here, honey. I have arrived for Ceelo and his 3-year engagement. I mean, really, who stays engaged for 3 years after being with somebody for 8 years? Make it make sense. I'm just saying, y'all. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, last year we saw Waka Flocka and Tammy, Soulja Boy and Nia. Then we saw Lil Mo and Carl, who, you know, I believe they're divorced. If not, they are going through a divorce. Then we saw Dime and Shawne, and then Lil Fizz and Tiffany, who faked their entire relationship on the show, by the way. So we know that they ain't together. So the only couple still alive and vibing are Dime and her honey Shawne, and Waka Flocka and his boo Tammy. Now, something different this season is we will not see Dr. V.
This is Miss Dr. V, but no, you and the judge got this. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate it. I believe we do. It's going to be fun. It's a good feeling. I can learn a lot from the judge. She's been around a long time. So that's a good thing.
And I also tend to get this question in my comments a lot from my older Marriage Bootcamp HipHop Edition videos from last year. And that question is, why are people on the show if they are not married? So take a listen to this, y'all.
Why do you have people that are not even married on the show? Bianca should not be on the show. Well, folks who are not married, here's the thing, right? Times are changing. Half of the millennials, they're just not married, right? And so couples either are opting to live together, to cohabitate, or not get married, but they're no less committed. So, you know, we're trying to keep up with the times, right? It's everybody's not getting married like they used to. If you look at the baby boomers, over 65%, 67% to be exact, of them are married. If you look at our millennials, it's around 45% who are married and even looking at it. So you got to keep up with it. Everybody's not doing the marriage thing, but it doesn't mean that your commitment is a little or any less. So that's the answer. Hey, Cece.
Okay, so I say all of that to bring me to my first couple, which is Styles P and his wife. And y'all, for the life of me, I cannot pronounce her name. I feel like I'm hooked on phonics. Like, no shade at all, y'all, but... And I ain't trying to talk about nobody, but I just can't pronounce her name, okay? So she gonna be Styles P wife, and like I said, it's no shade to her. She's having a hard time pronouncing it, and I don't know if it's my southern accent, honey, but we gonna roll with it.
Adjua and Styles P, right? Okay. Styles and Adjua have been married for 13 years, together for 24 whole years. So you're talking about half of their lives they've been together, okay? 8+ years or so ago, there was some infidelity. He cheated. They kind of sort of worked past that, but the big thing happened 4 years ago when they lost their daughter. Daughter was struggling with her own sexuality, how to tell them, how to tell the world, who to be in the world, how to show up in the world, and she took her own life. She killed herself. Any of those two things, the cheating or losing a child together, can destroy a relationship. They had both. So they're coming in the house trying to figure out, are we blaming each other for this? Did we help each other heal in the right way? Are we going in separate directions now? Because every time I look at you, I see her, and it takes, right? And so it's a lot for them to figure out. The theme for their room is unlit because the passion has just left the marriage. And it's natural after 24 years together. I mean, it's natural after 5, 6. It's not the same. But you put the time frame on it, and then put the trauma of the loss on it, and then you put the trust issues on it, and where do you find the trust, the spark, the passion? Can we get it back like it used to be? Or, you know, does it have to be how it used to be? Because we're older, so things change and mold. It doesn't make it any less, but it can be something more, something different. So that's what they're here trying to figure out. Rooting for them, love them to death. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
You know, Styles P and his wife have been together for 20 plus years. And I do agree with Dr. Ish that if you're not careful, the passion can be gone. Now, Styles P cheated on his wife, and she explains how she found out on the own show called Black Love, if y'all watch that show.
I got a voicemail from him. And I'm saying to myself, you ever get a voicemail from your husband or your friend or somebody, but you speak to them so often that you're like, if it was anything, they'd tell you. So it's like you'll check it in a few days or whatever. And I think I waited, like it kept popping back up, the voicemail, check your voicemail, check your voicemail. So I finally was like, fine, let me just check it and just delete it. And then when I heard it, it was a butt dial, and he was like having a conversation, but in the conversation, the tone was completely inappropriate, and it was off because I know his tone. He only speaks to females one way, and it was that way. And I knew what it was right away, and I approached him, and I was like, where were you yesterday, and what was this? He was like, where was I? What do you mean? I was working, and I'm always working, and I was like, yeah, okay, well, where were you? And then we had a talk. And that was that. But then he left right away because I think he didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do, or how I was going to react.
Like, oh my God, what the hell? You know, but actually at the time,
I was very calm though.
So in addition to all of that, you know, their daughter passed away. Their daughter, whose name is Taj, passed away at the age of 20 from personal issues. But I think the main issue for Styles P and his wife is how to continue to learn and grow in the years to come. Because remember, I told y'all they've been together for like over 20 years. And Dr. Ish told Styles P and his wife that they are on their third marriage. Now listen to this because I found this very interesting. He told them that they are on their third marriage because the first one was when they originally got married, okay? The second one was after their infidelity, and then the third marriage was when they lost their child. And they need to realize that they have a new clean state. And like I said, I thought that was really profound because people who are married don't realize marriage is a journey. Every day is not a happily ever after, even though, you know, that's what we signed up for it to be. Now, Styles P said people expect to see the best out of his relationship with his honey, with his wife, all the time. And then someone, he said to him that him and his wife portray to have the perfect relationship, but he says he has never ever heard of anything like that before. And I guess he's saying he's never ever heard of a perfect relationship, and he wants it to be known that a relationship takes a lot of work. And you know, I agree with that, honey. Regardless if you married or just in a relationship, you know, a commitment takes a lot of work. Now, he also said that for women, it's easier for us to express ourselves, and he's going back to the cheating situation that he was involved in. But he also says that for women, it's easier for us to express ourselves, and he says for a man to work himself up to be emotionally balanced, that's really not his cup of tea or his thing, but he works to do it for his spouse, which is really big of him because a lot of men are not going to tap into that emotion, okay? He also said, and these are his words from the Breakfast Club interview, y'all, that he didn't understand how much it hurt his wife when he stepped out of the relationship. He says, I think as men, we apologize and we mean it, but it's not emotionally enough for a woman sometimes. And as men, it gets frustrating over a time period because we look at it as we did it. You know, he says we look at it as if it should be over. We look at it as though it's done. And I have said I'm sorry, but to a woman, it could be 3 or 4 years down the line, and then it comes back up, y'all, and then we waiting to exhale mad again, okay? So let me stop there because what he is saying is that, you know, playing a part into the way how us women process things, way how men do. We don't process things. Think if the shoe was on the opposite foot and his wife stepped out on him, I don't think it would have been easy for him to process it either. I mean, when a woman cheats on a man, y'all know we are all types of names. I mean, they go gutter on us, okay? So him saying what he said, I understand where he coming from, but on the other hand, I believe he will process that same situation differently than he is saying now, okay? His energy will be much different. And then he goes on with the Breakfast Club interview and says he thought in his mind that an apology was good enough, but he realized his wife was still hurt and he never rectified the hurt. In her eyes, he's saying, okay, to himself he did, but in her eyes, he's saying she didn't see it that way. So this is why he did Marriage Bootcamp, to rectify the hurt. And he realizes that his wife thinks he is not romantic enough, and he says he feels like they argue too much. So two different issues, but he says that this is part of regular life and you have to draw your line and make decisions to do the right thing. So y'all, I hope that explains the situation about Styles P and his wife and some of their history. So next we're gonna talk about Bianca and
who came in the house next? The young heads, Bianca and chozus, Miss Chicken Noodle Soup herself, right? Love Bianca to death. You talk about another hothead. So we got Joseline, we got Bianca. Might want to watch for that because we may have some heads butting, some explosiveness happening there because we've got two queens in the house, two queen bees in the house. Only a matter of time before they butt heads. So let's keep an eye on that. But what are her and chozus' issues? Okay, so they're younger, on and off for about the last year. A little bit on, run a little bit off. They run hot and cold, right? They break up, they get back together. They break up, they see other people, they get back together. So where are we? Chozus' thing is, she is out there. She gets angry. She's put her hands on me. Don't know if I can deal with it. Bianca's like, well, if you quit running around and don't give me any reason to put. You see what I'm saying? The day somebody makes you step outside yourself and act outside yourself, you have lost control of yourself. And that's not a person you can be with. Matter of fact, you don't need to be with anybody until you can control that part. And so they're young, got some growing up to do still, got some maturity issues still. It's gonna be explosive. It's gonna be a lot, but hopefully, they will listen to some of the older, more wiser, more calmer heads in the house and be able to really pick up on that. So, we'll see.
So y'all, Bianca is pregnant, you know. Yeah, she pregnant, okay. When they came to do the premiere for Marriage Bootcamp, she had a baby bump. So their main purpose for being on Marriage Bootcamp is pretty much to learn how to come to a common ground and stop all the arguing. And Bianca needs to stop putting her hands on that man, all right? That's pretty much point blank into the period. Now let's talk about Michel'le and Stu.
Michel'le and Stu. Oh. Here's the thing about Michel'le. So we got a new house, and we're going to talk about this new house. All season long, it's like, everywhere she was I never had to wonder where she was because I just knew by the voice. And it just rings out. And so you always know where she is. When she stepped on the red carpet at premiere party, my back was turned. I was like, Michel'le's in the house because there's the voice. And so it's so funny because her speaking voice is so drastically different from her singing voice. Singing voice is big, bold, grown woman. And speaking voice is little and teeny-tiny. So the cheat for her is, can she find her real voice in this relationship, right? She's been with some guys who've taught her some hard lessons when it comes to love and relationships. And that lesson is that love hurts. That lesson is you can't count on me. You can't trust me. You have no idea what I'm going to do in the next 2 hours, much less the next 2 years. And whatever happens with us, it's going to be painful for you. More painful for you than it will be for me. And so here's Stu, right? Stu's from Baltimore. He's seen some rough stuff. He's seen some horrible stuff. Seen some of the same stuff she has trying to survive Compton, right? If you haven't seen that show, or go check that out, Surviving Compton. You get a lot of background story of Michel'le. But his temperament's different, so it comes out in a different way, right? He doesn't come off gruff and hard and jaded. His temperament is, hey, you know what? Life is life, but it's not going to change who I am. I'm going to show up and be Stu because I'm happy. And I love people, and I love giving, and I love receiving, and that's who he is. So Michel'le's like, oh, okay. When does the part come where you hit me? Where does the part come where you mean to me? When does the part come when you lie to me? When's the part come when you figure out you don't want, right? She's showing up and she's waiting for the other shoe to drop because of what she's learned with some of her past relationships. And Stu is like, what do I need to do to fix this, to work on this connection? And my answer is not much you can do, right? That's her journey. Every season, the couples come in and have these things they need to work on together as couples. And then around day 4 or day 5, sometimes a little bit earlier, sometimes a little bit later, every couple figures out, there's some stuff I need to work on alone, and then come back to this and see what we got. And I think that's going to be the course we see with Michel'le and Stu as far as that goes. This is the stuff we got to do together, but you know what? There may be some things that we got to do on our own to really see what we have.
So I absolutely love Michel'le. I watched her Lifetime movie Surviving Compton, and I will say, y'all, it does give a lot of insight about her past. So if y'all haven't watched it, check it out. I saw it on Lifetime last year, and it was good. Okay, not good in the sense of what happened, but it was good as far as to explain her side of things. Now, WeTV is saying that Dr. Ish and Judge Toller tried explaining to Michel'le that all her issues has less to deal with her trust issues when it comes to Stu and more to do with her self-image and confidence. And I do agree with it. And for those who don't know, Michel'le was once in a relationship with Dr. Dre, okay? And she suffered physical abuse from him. And then later she went on to marry, y'all hear me? Marry Suge Knight, who abused her too. So all these relationships left the singer feeling a bit jaded about her relationship with men. But, okay, and it's a big but, it was revealed by Dr. Ish that one of the couples are faking their relationship on the season, and y'all fans are speculating that it's Michel'le and Stu. And for me, honey, only time will tell. Now let's get into this Mr. Ceelo and Shani, honey, and their 8-year relationship and their 3-year engagement.
The music machine, the man himself, Ceelo, Goody Mob, back in the days when he first got started. Now he's doing his own thing. Then he went on to The Voice. One of my all-time favorite rappers. It was such a treat for me to be able to work with him. And here's what I would tell you about Ceelo. The man you see is the man you get. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's a good human. He is sincere. He is transparent. He is genuine. He is as authentic as you think he is. He is all of that and then some. And so Ceelo comes in, and he's a creator, right? Beautiful lyrics, some of the most beautiful lyrics we've ever had in hip hop. And he's up here and he's in the clouds because that's where he creates. And it's love and it's peace and it's happiness and it's elevation and it's expansion, right? And Shawne comes in and she's boots on the ground. She's like 8 o'clock, wake up. 8:05, brush teeth. 8:10, gargle. 8:10 and 30 seconds, spit that gargle, right? That's where she is. And so he's up here, she's boots on the ground. You've got to have both things to have it complete, but they're missing each other a lot. And so communication is where they are. And the ironic thing, and he said it tonight, he was like, you know, it's so funny. I pride myself on being one of the best communicators because I communicate to a world of people with my lyrics. But when I come home, I don't know how to communicate with my lady. And so just that right there, right? That little peek, hint, nugget of insight is what helped you take.
All right, so I can understand an 8-year relationship. Trust me, I get it. But if we waited for a long time for the engagement, what we not gonna do is continue to extend the engagement, okay? I don't think it's Ceelo's fault for the 3-year engagement. It has more to do with Shani. There's absolutely no way that you can have it all together before getting married. And for me, I feel like that's what their bump in the road is that Shani feels like Ceelo is very successful in his career and she wants that same success in their relationship together. Boom, pow, wow. That's what she wants, how the season continues to roll. Let's talk about Joseline Hernandez and Ballistic.
She blows big, and his name is Ballistic because he can blow just as big, if not more. So I love them, but how do you find the love through the storm? How do you find the love through the Miami hurricane? So that's going to be the key issue there. I think they can do it. Who do you guys think is going to make it? Who do you guys think comes through and leaves the house together? Who do you guys think, no way, you just call it right now, first night, that's a wrap? Who do you think? So,
as far as them being on the show, you know, I don't get it, okay? You know, their relationship is almost too fresh for me. I will say that Joseline, it seems like it's in a very stable relationship, which I haven't seen that from her. So I'm interested to see what the real issue is. I just believe Joseline is over the top. She is who she is. You either accept it or you don't. You can't change this woman. But hopefully going into episode 2, a light bulb will come on for me and I'll be able to really dig into their relationship and give my commentary on that. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. Thank you guys for chatting with me. Let's talk about all of this in the comment section. What do you think about episode number 1? I know we're on episode 2 or 3, so I'm gonna play catch up and hopefully get those videos out in the next couple of days. But I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.